Hi, my name is Yaslina Lease with Century 21 Connect Realty. Today we're going to talk about lease to own. Now I know there are several lease to own programs in the area and you're just not quite sure which program will work best for you. Well, let me go over the programs that I've worked with and their criteria. And let's talk about really, is a lease to own better for you right now? Or would it be worth it just to put the home search on hold for a moment and go directly into a purchase? People lease to own because they think they can't buy. In order to obtain an FHA mortgage nowadays, the minimum credit score you need is a 580. Do you have a 580 credit score? Okay, the next hurdle we need to overcome is the amount of down payment required. The amount of down payment required is 3.5%. Do you have the 3.5%? It's real simple math if you really stop and look and think about how much that 3.5% is. If you add up what you're paying now every month times 3.5%, you probably do have the down payment somewhere. And let's think about it. It's tax time. What are you going to do with that tax refund check? Let's put that to use for our future and increase our not just wealth for today, but for generations to come. Okay, so now let's talk about the lease to own programs. The first program I work with, their minimum criteria. Now this is just the minimum and every situation is different. But these are the standards. The minimum credit score is 550. You need to make at least $50,000 a year, have no evictions, not be in a current bankruptcy, and be able to put up 3 months rent total. Where does that money go? The 3 months rent will be, number one, your first month's rent, plus 2 months of your deposit. Do you get that back when you move? Absolutely. As long as the house is in the same condition that it was in when you moved in. Well, how long before I can actually buy a house in this program? In this first program, you can buy a house 30 days. If you get in the house and you're like, this is wonderful, I don't need to move anywhere. My kids are already starting to make friends. This is a good environment for my family. All you need to do is contact your local loan officer, get your pre-approval, not your pre-qualification. A pre-qualification is very different from a pre-approval. I will go over those details in a later video. But you can go ahead and move forward with purchasing that home. Will the amount that you're paying every month change once you go into a purchase? Absolutely. It will probably be a lot cheaper because when you do the lease to own, understand this is a business. Everybody has to make money. You got to give some to get some. If you know your situation is just temporary, and as I always tell my clients, go into this lease to own with the mindset of, we need to be buying in the next 90 days. This is not for you to stay into for the length of time they really give you. I do not recommend it because I feel like you could get a mortgage in less time than that. But I don't know your situation. We would have to have a consultation and map out the numbers to see what will work for you and your family. Okay. The second program I work with, again, minimum credit score, minimum 550. You need to make at least $2,500 per month. If you were in bankruptcy, it needs to be discharged at least 1 year, as well with a foreclosure. You will have this program 3 years before you actually have to either buy the home or give notice to vacate. With this particular program, they tack on a savings plan And this is very helpful to you. Now, your rent will be higher. However, when it is time for you to move forward into that lease, outside of that lease into a purchase, you will still have some money already set aside that will go towards your down payment. Every situation is different. The third program I work with, their minimum credit score is 480. This is just what I call, and as they refer to it, as a bridge loan. You'll only be able to stay in this for 18 months, which means, again, you need to go in with the mindset of, hey, this is going to be my house. I need to do what I need to do and get my credit where I need to get it so that I can move forward with a purchase. I only have this much time. They're a lot more flexible in their lending criteria as far as what they will allow and what they need in order to get the job done. But again, all of these are temporary. Now, when I say it's temporary, let's take bankruptcy for example. Your bankruptcy will have to be discharged 2 years before anyone will finance you by traditional means. Don't get me wrong, I have several lenders who will finance you with a bankruptcy day one out of bankruptcy, day one out of foreclosure. However, it is very expensive. You are looking to have to put down anywhere from 10 to 25% of that purchase price. That's a good bit of money. You wait after 2 years, you only have to come up with the 3.5% because you're eligible again for an FHA loan. Now, what does this mean to you? What is your situation? Are you just within months of that bankruptcy being discharged for the 2 years? Lease to own may work very well for you because you know whatever payment you have is just temporary. Like I tell everyone, it's just temporary. These programs are set up for you to be able to get in a home, to establish roots, and to start building your credit profile again. So whatever you need to do, you need to have your affairs in order. So when that time is up, you can move forward with getting a traditional mortgage. Lease to own programs differ sometime in where they will buy property. With Atlanta being such a large metropolitan area, some programs won't buy within certain counties. None of them will buy a foreclosure or a short sale. I have one program that will consider a little bit of a fixer, but it doesn't need to be where I can look outside or little critters coming in. They will not buy homes with an above ground pool. That's out of the question. I don't care how beautiful the house is. They will not do it. So if you see something like that, move on. There are other houses like that. Or better yet, wait till you buy the house yourself and you can put in your own above ground pool. Just a thought. Now, you ask, why would I even bother with a lease to own if I could just get my credit where it needs to be? Again, every situation is different. Some people have the credit and don't have the money, or vice versa. Some people just don't want to be tied to a house but for so long. Atlanta, people are very transient here. They may just be here for a job for 2 years. This is a great program because you get all the benefits of being a homeowner without some of the headaches of being a homeowner. You don't have to worry about the repairs. All that will be taken care of by the property management company. Some people are just here again. They're deployed here. They're here to shoot a movie. They'll be here 2 years, 3 years for a show. As you know, The Walking Dead is very popular here in Atlanta. Woo! Hey, Negan. Hey, girl. Anyway, I'm sorry. That's just my personal. Sorry. as I digress, nevertheless, lease to own is a great way for you to get in a house, especially here in Atlanta, because as you know, it is very competitive here as far as housing goes. I tell my clients when we are out or before we go out, if you are looking at it, there are probably 10 other people looking at it too, and they will not hesitate to pull the trigger and take it. I have seen homes come on the market that day and be gone in the same day. I've had properties. I had a house out in Covington, cute little brick ranch. I didn't even think I was gonna get that kind of attention. That house listed at 8 o'clock that morning. We were under contract and earnest money was en route before 10. So let that be a lesson to you. If you're looking at it, someone else is looking at it, and they will pull the trigger. They will not hesitate. So what does this mean to you? Have your finances in order. Next month, I will be starting a credit repair program, and I will come back to you again to do a episode strictly on credit repair and how to make it work. Yes, I realize there are a lot of credit repair companies out there, but how many do you know are achieving success? What were the terms and agreements going into this credit repair? What is the expectation? There is no magic pill. Yes, there are ways around things. Yes, there are loopholes in the law, just like in the tax law. There are loopholes. However, you will have to be consistent. You will have to be communicated. And you will have to show that you are determined for your credit to improve and that you are on a mission to either buy a house, finance your car, refinance your home, whatever it is. But as I said, that's a different video that I'll bring to you at a later time, and that program will start next month. Lease to own, again, is a great way for you to get a really nice home in a really nice neighborhood. But again, you've got to be ready. Don't get into it with the mindset of, oh, I got approved. Great, that's the first step. Do you have your money to close? Ooh, that might be a problem. How much I gotta have? It will depend. Sometimes it's the 3 months rent. Sometimes it's the 2% of the purchase price. Sometimes it's 4 or 5% of the purchase price. Every situation is different. Every program is catered towards a different situation. It may seem like a lot of money at the time, but I assure you, it is far more expensive for you to just rent with no end date in sight. If you count up all those months you pay rent times 10 years, you've already bought a house, cash, paid for, and you have nothing to show for it. I know people who've rented for 20, 30 years because they didn't think they could buy a house. I'm going to give you this one little number, and I really want you to think about it hard, fast, and long. Last year, I sold a house. The purchase price on that house was $242,900. The monthly note on that house with taxes and insurance was $1,500 a month. I have seen and shown 1-bedroom apartments for $1,500 a month. That was an entire house with a finished basement. And by the way, did I mention it was new construction? It wasn't beat up. Nobody had lived in it. Think about it. Where am I putting my money every month, and what do I have to show for it? Rent to own is not for everyone. However, if you know and you have that mindset, I'm ready to make a change in my life. I'm ready to be a homeowner, but I'm not quite there yet. But if I have a little guidance, if I have that support, and I know I have this pool of money that came to me, free money. There is no better way for you to put that money to use other than to get yourself in a home. When they say it's no place like home, There really isn't. You have that pride of ownership when you pull up to that house every single day. This is my house. This is my house. I can hang a nail in the wall anywhere. If I tear up the wall, it's my house. I think I want to change the flowers out front. I'm tired of those flowers. They're ugly. Change the flowers. Put out gravel. Put out mulch. Change the paint color every year. I have a very good friend of mine. She changes her paint colors every year, faithfully, because it's her house. She likes change. She likes her house, keeps her house fresh, updated. So if ever the day comes and she's like, you know what, I don't want to do this commute anymore, her house is already show and sell ready. And you know why? Because it's hers. It's not an apartment. She doesn't have to worry about rent increases. She doesn't have to worry about people just coming in just random. She doesn't have to worry about change of management, who's in the office now. It's her house. There is no place like home. That's all for this episode. I hope that I've given you a good bit of information for you to consider about leasing to own. If you would like to come sit down with me, please feel free to give me a call at any time. My number is 770-771-9962. If you want to make an appointment to come by the office, my office address is 880 Holcomb Bridge Road, Suite B150, Roswell, Georgia. We are in the same plaza as Brookwood Grill, and it is so, so good. If you have not been, you have got to go to Brookwood Grill. Get the salmon, the mashed potatoes, and asparagus. It is so good. It is always cooked to perfection. I have never had a bad meal there, ever, on their busiest day. They're excellent. But until next time, Yaslina Lease with Century 21 Connect Realty. You have a great week. Bye-bye.